Hi everyone, it's Finn. Right, as promised, a verbal account of my experience of stage 1 radial artery phalloplasty. I was admitted to the Spire Thames Valley Hospital on Sunday the 23rd of August, almost 3 weeks ago now. They admit you the night before on the Sunday night. I gather that's just so they can get you settled and keep an eye on you and do all the obs that you need doing. Everyone was really friendly. I was there a bit early, but they let me straight up onto the wards, and then you're given plenty of food and everything, so don't worry about that. If you haven't got to go nil by mouth straight away, you do get to eat, and the food's really good. I'd had a lot of people say that they had bad experiences in Slough, but to be honest, mine was fantastic. All the nurses were really great, really friendly, really reassuring. They gave me this wonderful tub of Hibby scrub stuff that you have to shower with. So once I'd said my goodbye to Drew and he went home, I showered in this lovely stuff, which ironically says do not put near your brain. Maybe that explains why I'm a bit woozy right now. So yeah, showered with that, and I had to shower again with it the next morning, and then surgery was prompt at 8 AM on the Monday morning. Mr. Christopher came to see me, kind of drew on my arm to make sure they knew which graft to use and what have you. The anaesthetist came to see me. I got kitted up with those lovely kind of compression stockings, but they were green, which is quite nice, and the gown and the neck pants and all that shebang. And they walk you to the operating room, which is quite strange because it's quite a small hospital really, so the actual operating room is just at the end of the corridor, so they literally walk you there with your gown gaping open. That was quite bizarre and really difficult for kind of Andrew to sort of watch me wander down the corridor. Very lucky actually, because my best friend Will came all the way from Brighton to stay with Drew so that he could run Drew back and forward to the hospital every day and just be there on hand to just kind of reassure and support, which was absolutely amazing. It's just, I'm blessed with such incredible support, and my God, Drew needed it, because the op itself, they say anywhere between kind of like 6 and 8 hours, and I was gone for 10. They obviously put me under and everything, and then I had a little bit of trouble when I came out of the anaesthetic, mainly because I was having a lot of lower back pain. And this is some big bit of advice I give people: if you're due your shot, they do recommend you have it before, but have it a while before, because with libido sometimes you do get sore where the injection site is, and I actually had mine a different way. I led down for my libido shot, and I think it actually I think my bum doesn't like that, so I had like a really bad bruised bum anyway, and obviously when you're very still in surgery for 8 odd hours, it really hurt my lower back. So when I woke up, I thought I was led on something, so I was really uncomfortable, and I think they took quite a while to kind of settle me. So by the time I got back onto the ward, it'd been 10 hours, so poor Drew was kind of pulling his hair out. They put you on a high dependency unit at Slough. There's like a special room where you're just hooked up to everything. You have like the arterial line so that they don't have to take the blood pressure cuff. You're actually hooked up and wired up so you can do all your obs through a machine. You've got numerous wires coming out of you everywhere for like the IV drip and everything. And you have a button for morphine, which didn't work for me. I'm obviously just like immune to morphine really. So yeah, you've got all these wires and tubes and beeps and what have you. It is quite unnerving. And obviously you've got like this new arm up in a sling, so it was all quite strange coming round, being asleep for that long. It was lovely to see Andrew. And in my kind of like haze, I was kind of on and off asleep. And all of a sudden I could hear this like, and I was like, what the hell is that? And they get like the ultrasound Doppler to take the pulse of your new phallus, because where they take the artery from the forearm, put it through the phallus and then hook it up to one of the muscles in the abdomen, they have to then take the pulse once an hour to make sure it's all working. And I knew this, but I thought it was going to be done by stethoscope. So to suddenly kind of like hear my penis's heartbeat was like quite amazing. It's like this new birth of this new member of mine, my new baby penis, this beautiful heartbeat, and it was just absolutely amazing sound. So yeah, I had that once an hour for the first kind of like 24 hours-ish, and then they kind of like taper off after they do it. So they just keep you in the high dependency unit for one night and then move you back to your room. Now, you can't move. You're kept on your back. You have a catheter in, you have a drip in, a drain in, you have all these in. You have one hand and it's covered in cannula, so you're not able to move very much. I knew this was going to be hard, but having the multiple different sites and the inability to move was difficult. You're on like this special airbed that moves, but I think just because I have back issues anyway, it really wasn't helping enough, and just being in one position was just achy for me anyway, and horrid. And I think those first 2 days were just the worst in the world. It was just Groundhog Day. I just wanted to move, you know, wanted to get up or what have you, and the catheter wasn't very comfortable. Obviously they're bringing you food, and you're quite limited to what you can eat with one hand, so think it through. You know, I was just going for easy food because the nurses are there to help, absolutely, but you know, you don't want to keep calling, well, I don't want to keep calling them, so I was going for relatively easy stuff like scrambled eggs and pasta and stuff like that, healthy things, but things that I could manage myself, and just always making sure that the nurses put stuff nearby me. I had an extra long lead for my phone so that I could kind of always keep it charged in and do that. I had Netflix and everything, but I think when I come around from anaesthetic, I'm just unable to concentrate, so I just had the TV on for a constant like background, and there was a dot on the wall that I spent a lot of time being friends with and just staring at, and just, you know, connecting with people on the internet really, which was really, really helpful. And then obviously Drew and Will were in every day to kind of break up the monotony. So Monday, Tuesday, that was pretty much me out of it. Wednesday was my worst day. I really hit rock bottom on Wednesday. I think I just had enough, and I'd gone through that kind of what the hell have I done kind of thing. So every now and again I just look down and see my penis and go, oh yes, okay, it's fine, it's fine. So I got through Wednesday very much kind of one day at a time. Thursday, Wednesday afternoon they came in, the physiotherapist came in to see me and was kind of showing me what I could do in terms of like moving my feet to keep the blood circulation going and abdominal breathing and things like that, and that really helped, actually having something I could physically do to help my recovery rather than just laying there feeling powerless. So although it was quite painful to do some of the exercises, I kind of really made sure I did them once an hour. It lifted my spirits and gave me a bit of purpose, which was nice. And then the physio visited again on Thursday, and that was when they got me up for the first time. I was lucky I didn't have too much dizziness, but I couldn't sit up because I'm very swollen down there. I've heard people that manage to get up and sit in their chair next to their bed, but that just wasn't possible for me, and actually hasn't been possible for me until a few days ago. I've had to kind of lay almost like sitting on my coccyx. So yeah, I was up and I kind of like took 3 steps and it felt like a marathon. It was amazing. So from then Thursday onwards, I was just gradually increasing the kind of getting up.
You're holding on to it.
I'm not really scared it's going to fall off.
You poor Tum Tum. You know I'm recording, right?
And going to the loo, which is just like a statistical nightmare. Logistical nightmare even, because you have to lift up the phallus but support it, and you've got stitches underneath. You've got to try not to wee on them. So that was all rather interesting. Mint tea is your friend. When you've not been to the toilet for a few days, mint tea is your friend. I had a lot of that. So yeah, things were kind of getting better as much as I was more mobile and able to get up and kind of do things myself. It was, as I say, quite limited. And every day something would come out, whether it be one line or a drain or something, and that was like a little achievement, and then easier to move, you know, once they got that catheter out and I was untethered to the bed as such. That was just absolutely brilliant. And then I had kind of Mr. Chris were coming in periodically and just checking the phallus, making sure it was warm enough and elevated enough and the pulse was good and what have you. And actually Sunday came around pretty quick because that's when I was released, and it didn't drag as much as I thought. I only had one really bad day, and that was the Sunday. But actually, all in all, it was really, really good experience. I had some amazing nurses. Arnett, is that how you say her name? Was just absolutely incredible. She's just like amazing nurse. And there was a trainee nurse with her whose name I've forgotten, who I've actually told about my channel. I hope she's watching. Hello everyone. She was incredible, and it's amazing to see nurses that are training just being so inquisitive and really kind of like wanting to know what's going on. That was amazing. And as I say, the room was great because it had like everything was accessible and easy to use in the bathroom. They showered me, but they've got a special accessible shower across the corridor, which you just literally walk into a room and it's a wet room. on that actually, I was really worried about kind of bearing all my bits for all the nurses to wash, but you know what? You don't care. It just is nice, and it just doesn't matter. There was one funny moment where being walked for this shower and walked back again, like, you've got to support your phallus all the time, so she kind of had the towel round me and was holding it out there, and I was holding my phallus, and then she kind of like pulled me across the corridor back to my room, which was just quite bizarre. But yeah, all the nurses were great. I mean, it's humans, human beings, so obviously you get some nurses that are more attentive and caring than others, but by no means was there any bad experience. Food great. I just can't fault it, really can't fault it at all. I've gone into probably more depth on my Tumblr, but I know you wanted to kind of see me kind of verbally chat about it, so, and there's some pictures interwoven, hopefully that's worked. But yeah, it's been harder, it's been nicer to be home, but it's actually been harder at home in some ways because obviously things aren't accessible, so like the bed doesn't move, the head doesn't go up and down, and the toilet's lower, and there's little things like that, and then obviously not having the nurses to reassure, and me and Andrew have just kind of had to make it up as we go along and make sure we're doing the right thing. We didn't get a district nurse because there's not enough of them, and really what they would have done was just come in and check and change dressings every couple of days after a shower, and Drew was quite happy to do that, and we've kind of learned how to do that together. And then for the big changes where it needs a clinical environment, we've then gone to the practice nurse to do that, and then they've been amazing. I'm so lucky with my practice nurses. I will say this, make sure you have good practice nurses that are willing to do whatever. They've ordered every dressing we've wanted, they've supported us and you've given us dressings when we've gone there, given us advice. It's just been incredible. It's been really, really good aftercare service. It's not been so great with Mr. Christopher's office. He's been great, he's replied every time I've emailed him, but I think there's changes going on at the Andrology Centre at the moment, so I've emailed there a few times and not got a reply. So then I've emailed Mr. Christopher, and I've used an email that I thought was his private email, and I didn't want to do that, but I knew that at the end of the day he'd rather me bug him on his personal email than neglect something. So I've got to say it was quite hard to get hold of them, but that has improved towards the end of the week, and I'm just emailing pictures every time I'm concerned, and getting replies as to what to do, and then I just ring my doctor's surgery and I pass on what I've been told and I get whatever I need, and it's been really good. It's hard. I mean, I knew this was going to be hard, but it's a hard that I don't think you can explain until you're doing it, just because of what it is to take care of, really, and just where it is as well. Really, it's quite difficult. So yeah, that's kind of like a synopsis of the whole week experience, which I hope I've covered sufficiently. But again, if there's anything I haven't covered, anything you really want to know, I will quite happily answer anything. So just, you know, message me, find me on my FinnTheInfinncible blog page on Facebook. That's really good for messaging actually, because YouTube isn't so great. I always reply to comments, but the kind of inbox thing on YouTube isn't that brilliant, whereas if you come and chat to me on FinnTheInfinncible, you know, we can have a proper chat, and anything you want to know I can answer there or in a video. On my Tumblr. Again, you can't really reply on Tumblr very well, but yeah, I can be found in multiple places. I'm sharing this very, very openly. So just ask me whatever you want. I also thought I'd just kind of show some stuff in the background that I've got. This is just like epic. This is like amazing. Look at this. How kind. That's just like the best balloon in the world, really, isn't it? I just can't imagine the person in the shop doing that. That's amazing. And I have like numerous, oh sorry boys, numerous willy shaped things, willy shaped sponge, can't wait to have a bath, that's going to be epic. Willy lolly. Yes, I'll get videos of me eating that. And just like, oh, did you fall off, darling? I'm growing my own willy as well. This is like my own willy. Can you see this? It's, yes. It's done quite well. It started off at about 2 inches. So yeah. And some amazing cards. I've got absolutely amazing cards from people. This is just epic. Awesome, right? Yes, I've lost one. There's one somewhere that I can't find. But yes. Right, waffling now. Hope I've covered all that's needed. So yeah, I will update next week. I am 3 weeks post op on Monday, so I will update about that. Oh, one thing I'll say about the arm. I'm not sure if I've said this. It's not as gnarly as I thought. I used to see pictures of like this surgery with the arm, the butt and everything. Oh my god, I cannot do that. But actually when it's yourself, it's not that bad. I'm coping. It's not making me want to vomit, so that's good. Anyway, right, I'm going. Chat to you soon, everybody. Take care.